This is dumb.
Let's talk about Netflix's new 2024 version of Avatar: The Last Airbender, as we have a now viral tweet that got 43.5 million views on X by Variety, stating that Netflix's live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender series is toning down the sexism. It says, quote, "We took out the element of how sexist Sokka was. I feel like there were a lot of moments in the original show that were iffy." The next quote says, "Yeah, totally. There are things that were redirected just because it might play a little differently in live action." Let's get into the main characters. There are three of them: Sokka, Katara, and Aang. We're going to start with Sokka and Katara. They are brother and sister. They are members of the Water Tribe. They are in a boat fishing at the beginning of episode 1, and Sokka says something to the effect of, "Leave it to a girl to screw things up when things start to go wrong." Now, Katara, being the little sister, is of course filled with rage, freaks out on Sokka, calls him a sexist, and ends up breaking an iceberg.
"Leave it to a girl to screw things up."
You are the most sexist, immature, nut-brained...
And in that iceberg is our frozen main character, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Aang. So already in episode 1 of Avatar, we're seeing sexism be used as somewhat of a vessel to move the plot forward. Sokka makes the remark, Katara freaks out, and now we have our main character and the most important character, Aang, the Last Airbender. But somehow Netflix is apparently going to remake this show without the sexism that brings about the main character, Aang. How they're going to do that, I do not know.
Okay, this is so infuriatingly stupid. Just to be clear, I'm not saying Amala, the host, is stupid. I'm saying what she's saying is dumb. What she is actually trying to advocate for here is dumb. She is trying to say that the plot is only moved forward because of sexism, as if there is no other way that they could have revealed the Avatar had it not been for Sokka's sexist comment. There are lots of other ways they could have done this, and that's why they probably took it out, because they're like, oh, this is not integral to the story. You know what? There's another movie that was made about the Avatar: The Last Airbender. We don't speak on it, but this keys into the point I'm trying to make here. You know that in the Avatar movie that was not well received and that was not good, that they don't even do the whole sexist thing reveal? No, they just stumble across the Avatar, and it works just fine.
There's something under there. It's caving. Move away from the cracks.
You don't watch that and think, wait a minute, you know what? I don't believe that they would have just stumbled across this kid. I wish something sexist happened to have this revelation. This is the amount of mental gymnastics that conservatives have to make to rationalize things that don't need this rationalization. You could easily take out this joke. They're brother and sister. There could be dozens of other reasons why they're fighting. It doesn't have to be his sexist comment. The whole interaction doesn't hinge on the sexist comment. He's the biggest sister. He could say, leave it to my little sister to make such a mistake like this. There you go. He's taunting her. He's making fun of her. He could say anything about her. Your brother and sisters if you have little sisters, if you have older brothers, siblings fight all the time, and it's not always with sexism. There's other ways to weaponize our relationships with our siblings, and that doesn't just hinge on sexism. So that's why that is such a... Let's continue.
Now, I am not a huge stan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Really, I sort of watched it over my brother's shoulder as a little girl, but I do remember many of the points of this show.
Wow, looks like somebody's acting just like Katara. I mean, this is dumb. She's not even a fan of Avatar. She watched it over her brother's shoulder. So you're going to bat for something that you're not even passionate about. I wonder why she's upset about this. She's not a fan, but yet she's upset enough to make this video. Could it be that because this goes right in their whole war against wokeism? Oh my goodness, the war against wokeism. Who cares that sexism is not in this? This is such a dumb argument. This whole video is making my head hurt. She's not a fan of the show. Number one, she's only upset because she is paid to do this, okay? Amala works for a right-wing conservative channel. All they do is look for things to get upset about. The issue with conservatives I have, and this is not a video against conservatives. Let me be clear about that. There will be a video like that coming soon, but this is not against conservatives. But I will touch on this right now. Conservative content creators don't create anything. All they do is react to what liberal creators do or liberal artists do. All right, that's the problem with conservative creators because they don't make anything. They need to criticize other things. So sometimes they have to fake this outrage over something that they're obviously not even passionate about. This is just a way to drum up views about an issue that she doesn't really care about, and she's going at great lengths to try to make it more controversial than it needs to be. The sexism is not what Sokka is known for, okay? He's not known for his sexism. It doesn't even make sense in the context of the show. Yeah, he makes a sexist joke at his sister, sure, but Sokka's a virgin, okay? He doesn't really know how to even interact with girls. Yes, it's his sister, but as the show continues, we see that Sokka is just not good with the ladies, you know? Even when he gets to the Water Tribe princess and they have their whole interaction, there's a little awkwardness in that, and he grows up from that. But when he meets Suki, he's not really good at interacting with her. And sure, he tries to think, well, because I'm a guy, I'm a boy, I'm going to fight, and woman warriors. I've been seeing people try to make the argument that Sokka's arc is that he starts off as a sexist, and then as the show progresses, he learns that women have value. Now, I'm going to tell you 2 reasons why that is a brain-dead assumption to come to at the end. Number one, that is not growth if the only reason you see value in women is because you literally come up against women who are phenomenal. His sister, Toph, Azula, Ty Lee. There's a bunch of women in this show that are way better than Sokka. Okay, even Suki. All these women are stronger than Sokka. So for him to think, hey, you know, I guess because every single woman I'm meeting is stronger than me, women have value, that's not growth. Sokka's journey teaches him that all women have value, if that's really the argument they were trying to make, but they're not. Because Sokka's arc is not, I was a sexist and then I started to see women as equals. That's not his arc. If anything, Sokka's arc is, I was insecure and young and unsure of myself. And as I grew older and as I went through this adventure and as I was put through trials and tribulations, I learned to believe in myself and my abilities. Because remember, on Team Avatar, Sokka is the weakest. Yes, Aang is the Avatar and a prodigy. Katara is a waterbender and a prodigy. Toph is an earthbender and a prodigy. And then you got Sokka with his boomerang. So Sokka is the weakest member of the team, and he knows that. That's why he struggles with it, okay? It's not because he thinks women are inferior, and then he has to be taught that by Katara and Toph and Suki and all the other women he comes... No. And even in the show, there isn't a big theme of sexism, okay? Because A, there have been female avatars, and the female avatars have been ruthless. Kyoshi was known as one of the most ruthless avatars, and she was a woman. If there was going to be a sexist nation, it would be the Fire Nation, right? That would be the nation where sexism was just running rampant. But even in the Fire Nation, talent is recognized above all. Azula is more desired by her father than Zuko because she's better at everything. better fighter, better at firebending, better at everything than Zuko. Okay, she's more ruthless. She's more like her father. And her father takes a liking to Azula more than Zuko. He doesn't just automatically put Zuko above Azula because Zuko is a man. No. Matter of fact, when he banishes Zuko, Azula just takes over. Because in this society, talent is paramount. No one's looking around being like, well, women can't do this, women can't do that. I mean, these are just offhand silly jokes, but they're not driving the plot forward. You know what's driving the plot forward for Sokka is the fact that his father left and went to a war and he did not take Sokka with him.
Sokka.
I'm coming with you.
You're not old enough to go to war, Sokka. You know that.
I'm strong, I'm brave, I can fight. Please, Dad.
Being a man is knowing where you're needed the most. And for you right now, that's here protecting your sister.
I don't understand.
Someday you will. I'm gonna miss you so much.
Sokka has these feelings of being young and not being able to step up and be like his father. His whole arc is about being a leader like his father. That's what he wants. He wants to stand up and be a man like his father. It's not that he's going around thinking that women aren't good. That's not... This is dumb. Please do not think that this show will suffer because they took out the sexism. Now, the show may not work simply because when you convert something from the original style as created it into live action, that's kind of a clunky way to go doing things, you know? The live action is going to be very limited in what they can do. So if you're hoping that the live action will just be a shot-for-shot recreation of the show, don't waste your time. Matter of fact, I don't understand why people get so upset when a live action doesn't live up to the original source material. Because the original source material still exists. If you're so upset once you watch the first episode of the show, mind you, everyone's saying this without having even watched one frame of the show yet. All right, they saw the trailer, they read the article, that was enough for them. Watch the first episode, and if you truly feel that it does not live up to the legacy of the original Avatar: The Last Airbender, then you know what you can do? Just don't watch it. And you can go back and watch the actual Avatar: The Last Airbender, the one that you like. It's not like they're going to delete it forever. It'll still exist. So getting upset over an article that has said that they're going to take out their sexism is dumb. Don't be dumb.